This week on Charger Bulletin News, moms love our broadcast, him. We have your IP address and Paul Rudd right here on Charger Bulletin News.
Hello and welcome to a special and extra serious episode of Charger Bulletin News.
And I'm asking you to mind your business. Let's get into this week's worst stories.
The search for a new president of the university is over, while interim president Sheehan Sanger has done a great job in his role. It's now time for a new leadership. The votes have been tallied, and our university president is a familiar face, the local Forest Hill resident and honorary mascot Wheezy. This dapper tuxedo cat has been voted into office after a successful campaign run through the cold winter months. As the unofficial mayor of Forest Hills, Wheezy is a beloved member of our community. He has plans to improve a number of aspects on campus, including what he sees as a severe lack of cardboard boxes and treats. With many years of experience under his belt, Wheezy promises to use that experience to continue improving the lives of students through this time in a paid position and with a warm office to himself. We will follow his career with great interest as students across campus are excited to see this change in leadership taking place.
And yet another aspect of the crosstown rivalry with Southern Connecticut State University, there is now a major competition between the University of New Haven and SCSU to get to the moon. In a new kind of space race, the Chargers now find themselves working to build a rocket ship to reach the moon before the Owls, who already have an advantage in the race since they can fly. As a part of this effort, engineering students and the Astrology Club are working together to plan the trajectory and make a successful rocket before the minds of SCSU can do the same. The goal is to make Charlie the Charger the first college mascot on the moon and to mark the territory for campus construction for an extraterrestrial study abroad program. We wish our brainiacs luck in defeating the Owls and making it to the moon.
With the expansion of our business program and the recent construction of the Bergami Center for Science, Technology, and Innovation, it is growing increasingly clear that the esports are something to focus on as business, sport management, and online competition spaces grow within the industry. After the addition of the gaming arena known as the Stable, our esports teams have been able to put in the hours to achieve greatness. In recognizing these accomplishments and the development of the industry, the University of New Haven is now shifting its focus to supporting the education of students who want to enter the rising esports industry. As part of this effort, the administration has decided to scrap its bid to become a Division I school for its other athletic and is instead diverting resources to the construction of a new and improved esports arena, complete with the audience seating and jumbotrons for matches. To make room for this arena, the school is looking to get rid of the Ralph F. Della Camera Stadium at North Campus and is also considering locations such as the Hoffman parking lot across from Grammy Hall and the current site of the Engineering and Science University Magnetic School next to Kathy Solid Stadium.
You may have noticed that in the middle of February, the Bergami Center for Science, Technology, and Innovation was marked off limits to students without notice. While students may have been frustrated with this development, it was for a good cause, a game of Manhunt for facility staff. If you didn't grow up playing Manhunt, it is a better version of the game of tag. Fans of hide and seek would find this game appealing, but those who were disinterested in such games in elementary school may continue to miss out on the fun. In order to make this staff appreciation event happen, it was necessary to find a space where such an event could take place, have potential hiding places for participants, and be an area that could be successfully closed for such a private proceeding. Since Manhunt is usually a game played after dusk, the Bergami Center was the perfect venue as it is the shiniest, newest, and most popular space for students to hang out. Rather than attempting to play in the cold February weather, the location offers a heated space where the lights can be turned off or dimmed. If you don't see the point in appreciating the facility staff by letting them have a day of fun, and you remain upset about not being notified about the building being closed until you made your way through the cold to find yourself tugging at locked doors, then you obviously do not appreciate the staff integral to making this campus operate, and you may want to consider therapy for your issues with empathy. CAPS is a free university resource which can be contacted at 203-GET-HELP. And now we go to our favorite robot for our sports report, Will.io. What's happening this week?
Thanks, guys, and welcome to the Charger Sports Report. I'm your host, Gage. Today I have so many things to talk about. I am a little nervous, and I need to take some breaths and catch my breath. To get my thoughts straight before I get started, I have watched what seems like a million different videos today. I have watched the game against USC last weekend. I watched the game against UCLA this week. I have also watched USC's 49-yard field goal and the Pitt Broncos kicker's attempt at a 58-yard field goal that just barely missed. I want to give everyone a brief preview of what I'm going to talk about, then I'll let it fly. Manti Te'o isn't dead. People are going to be sad about him, but he isn't dead, so don't be sad. The Hawkeyes are awesome. Sophomore quarterback C.J. Beathard, the freshman running back duo of Akram Wadley and LaShawn Daniels. Listen to that Alabama defense. Iowa may get a chance to punt to the Knolls, and that's what they are doing right now. R.I.P. James Wallen. No comment. This thing called good football, the long snapping and punting game from both sides. My mind has turned to Scrum, the new film from the NFL I watched. The whole Bergie shtick. I've even caught myself using the Paul Chris term, patty cake. Great live coverage. Not the games, but the scenes that make me want to watch every game. I almost want to catch a glimpse of this. I almost put my hands in the air. This video is the best thing on YouTube. This is what makes college football great. It has all these subtle nuances that just really make the sport unique. And this is what I'll be talking about. I know it's long, but I think you'll get a better sense of the angle of the series from watching it. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the weekend. Now, the weather report with someone who usually isn't on camera. What's going on, Captain?
Thanks, guys. I'm Jason Coe with this week's weather report, and there's no other way to describe it. It's raining cats and dogs. Looking at next week, it'll start calm and begin to peak on Tuesday. It might be a good idea to pack some treats before leaving your home, or pack an extra lint roller in case you encounter any spontaneous fur squalls. It could get wild outside. Taking a look at the map, we can see an increase in huskies as the cold air moves down the coast, and an increase of schnauzers coming up from the bottom. It looks like we're going to see a large amount of polite cats in Vermont, which is a welcome change. Black labs will be accumulating in Rhode Island, and watch out, New York, because you're getting bulldogs. Over Massachusetts, we're forecasting golden retrievers, so expect loads of pets if you live in that area. This New England weather is going to give us another wild storm. We here at CBN have been following a story and are tracking a Category 5 storm next week. We'll keep it on a tight leash and keep you posted as the story develops. That's all for the weather. Back to you at the desk.
In an effort to enhance the education of business students and with an emphasis on experiential learning, the Registrar's Office is adding a new requirement for all business students joining the university community in the fall 2023 semester. As a learning requirement, all business students will be required to create or join a student-created business that will operate from below the Atwood and Parkview residential buildings. This opportunity will provide business students with hands-on learning experience on running a successful business, whether they are working in marketing, human resources, accounting, or any other aspect of business operations. We are assured that this is not a last-ditch effort to fill the retail space that has been desperately lacking in tenants. While this will not be a requirement for students that are already a part of the university community, the opportunity will remain available and can apply towards your degree audit. Members of the campus community should keep an eye out for these businesses and make sure to stop in and support them once they are up and running. The grades of your peers rely on it. On the topic of business, we have our own local business joining us in the studio today. Let's see what they have for us.
With us today is Presley, the founder and CEO of Antique Corner. She's here to show off some of the store's products.
Thank you so much for having me, Charlotte. So all the products we have here today are antique items that are at least 100 years old, such as this jacket from the colonial era of Connecticut. It was even handmade by the suffragette.
Wasn't the suffragette movement long after the colonial era? This looks like a sweater from the campus bookstore.
No, it's not. It's an antique.
All right then, what other pieces do you have to show us?
So, as you can see, we have a bunch of clothing pieces that were able to keep the pilgrims warm during their voyage from wherever they came from to the United States. Each of these is appraised at $5,000.
$5,000?
Yes, because they are antiques made from, as you can feel one of these, made from the finest fabrics. A non-clothing antique piece that we have is also a picture of Maxie Hall, as you can see. It was taken back all the way in 1920 when the building was first built, and it is in mint condition. This is appraised at $6,000.
I believe Maxi Hull was built prior to 1920, and that looks a lot like the postcards sold at the campus store for about $3. Is it possible you've been misinformed about these items?
Absolutely not. These are antiques and I verified their authenticity myself. Everything in this store is properly vetted by our knowledgeable staff.
Well, we'll have to remain skeptical. That's all the time we have here and all the time I'm willing to spend talking about this, so I'll hand it back over to you guys at the desk.
Well, thanks for that, guys. Coming up next, we have some things, but first we'll talk about other things that have to do with on-campus entertainment in our news segment, This Just In.
Thanks, guys. We're talking about the newest musical hitting the stage at UNH. Basically Nothing is a musical written, produced, and directed by Dr. Jacob Yukon, PhD, DDS, Esquire. It follows the story of a young and hungry theater major as they struggle with people not taking their stupid little theater show seriously. The show hopes to be groundbreaking and telling a story that literally everyone has already seen. But, quote, this time it's different, we promise, end quote. When asked for comment, the director stated, quote, get out of our theater, we don't need publicity, you're a bunch of pee-pee-poo-poo buttheads, end quote. Getting snippy with the media is an interesting maneuver that has never backfired ever, so clearly the director knows exactly what he's doing, wink. The cast is a variable who's who of who the hell are these people. We can only assume the casting direction was something along the lines of, let's find the most diverse cast of white people possible. This technicolor rainbow of milk and paper features more people of different hair colors than people of color. In this time of rising hate crimes and prejudice, it's nice to see a director finally give the white man his time. While there are a fair amount of cast members in the LGBTQ+ community, all of them have the general vibe of someone who watched the entire 6-season, 121-episode run of Glee and decided to base their entire personality off of that. Female lead actress Emily Perkins hopes to continue her streak of bathing in attention and admiration lathered in honey, while victim blaming all of the competition. In her most recent work, she and her power group of gaslight gatekeep girl bosses push someone to the brink of needing antidepressants. She has been nominated for a Tony for her work. Male lead actor Devin Garbanzo Bean said, quote, I don't like being involved in drama. I just like listening to all of it while I sit off to the side with popcorn, end quote. Early reviews for the show are in, and critics are raving about how the entire show feels like a college improv troupe desperately trying to be funny for an hour and a half. To emphasize this point, we got a clip from the song Dance, which was performed by a bunch of weirdos we found on the side of the road. It said they were theater kids, and I are definitely involved in the show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any complaints concerning this report, please send them to hr@wearenevergoingtoreadthis.gov.
A new study has recently come out about the effects of owning a plant on mental health. While there are limitations on plant ownership for college students, there is a general consensus that owning a plant and having greenery in your living space can improve mood and quality of life. The positive impact of plants on mental health has become better documented over the years, and while college students are often strapped for cash, getting 1 or 2 similar plants and watching them grow can be a good way to begin taking care of your mental health. Important to note, however, is that owning plants does not in fact make you a better person. Just because you own a houseplant does not make you a health expert, nor does it make you better than anyone else. Being able to keep any plants you do have alive is also a prerequisite to having any feelings of superiority, but it still does not make you better than anyone else. If you're unable to maintain a live plant but still want to spruce up your living space and take care of your mental health, fake plants are a great alternative. There are no maintenance props of color that may be able to provide you with a great placebo effect, but without the dangerous side effect of thinking you're morally superior.
Calling all film majors, are you interested in taking a step away from your day-to-day film courses? Are you looking for a class that will let you explore film in a more exciting way? If so, the Communication Department is adding a special topics course in the fall for those looking to take a deep dive into one of the greatest modern hits of the industry. As a major point of contention within the movie business, the Twilight series has served as a popular series that showcases the many different ways in which you should not make a film. Students preparing to transition into the industry, or for those who are interested in art critique, this course will teach you what you should avoid or what may be considered as scrapping by decently. The course will discuss narrative structure, writing, and film techniques, among other things. Seats are limited, so make sure to sign up for this class as soon as it becomes available. Prepare to tear this popular vampire series to shreds with our distinguished faculty, and please remember that vampires do not sparkle in the sunlight, and nobody in their right mind would choose to relive high school again and again if they had an extended lifespan.
Of our many campus organizations, one that has had people perhaps the most difficulty with finding a place to hold its meeting, it's the swim club. Well, there are many athletic facilities, including weight rooms, basketball courts, various fields, and a track. The one thing that the University of New Haven does not have a pool, unless you consider the Forest Hill pool, which is completely green and hasn't been cleaned since before Kaplan bought his first Tesla. Recent difficulties with finding facilities for the club to operate in for the practices has led to turmoil within the club, but a solution has been found. After careful consideration and a realization that there is already a resource that hasn't been tapped, the New Haven location for swim club practices have been determined, the Orange Campus Pond. Not only does this location solve the issue of needing a body of water to swim in, but it also solves the problem of needing transportation for club members since shuttles already operate going back and forth to Orange Campus. Club will now be used to go towards the filtering and maintenance of the pond to make it safe to swim in. Anyone interested in joining the swim club is encouraged to dive right in and join the team. If you made it this far, we commend you for watching until the end.
You can pick up an outdated form of media at newsstands around campus.
Stay out of date by unfollowing us on social media at Charger Bulletin or by deleting your social media.
The Horseshoe magazine exists, but not in print. Good luck finding a hard copy.
Thanks for joining us this week.
And I'm still asking you to mind your business. Goodbye.